Welcome students. In today's session, we will try to understand one more sorting technique called as merge sort. Now, the term here indicates that it is a merge. That means there will be two different arrays. Okay, there can be situations, students, when there are two different arrays and those different arrays are already sorted. Right? Two different arrays are there and already they are sorted. Now, the job is to merge or club those two arrays such a way that the elements should be in ascending order after merging. That means assume that we have first array and second array by the name A and B respectively, right? Let us say that the total number of elements in array A, I denote it to be by the variable M. Let us say there are 4 elements in the array and all those 4 elements are sorted. Sorted means 10. Let me consider the values as 10, 30, 50, and 70. So I have got 4 elements in the first array. Look at the values. They are sorted. They are in ascending order. I'm considering the example with the ascending order here. Okay. Now, to travel through these array elements, I will consider one variable, right, by the name I. So these index values going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3. At the beginning, okay, the index will be pointing to, the I variable will be pointing to the first index here. In the same way, I consider the second array, and again this second array, the total numbers I denote into a variable n. Let us say there are 6 numbers or 6 elements in that, and all those 6 elements are in ascending order. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, and 100 are the array elements. Look at the values. They are in ascending order only, right? Then I again put the index values 1, 2, 0. It starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then I use another variable j to travel within this particular second array, right? These are the inputs. Now, be clear with the inputs, student. The first is that we require 2 arrays here, and the elements should be in ascending order only. The job is to club or merge these arrays, these particular array elements, such a way that the resultant array what we get, or the merged array, there also the elements should be in ascending order. So here again, I have taken one more array, that is C, for the resultant array. And here I know that there are 4 elements in the first and second, there are 6. So I have just put a 10 boxes so that I can put in all those 10 elements. Again, the index starts from 0, 1, 2, so up to 9 to 9. Right? Now, let us try to understand how this particular program works, or the concept of a merge array. I will display you the program later, but let us only look into the code that will tell how to sort or how to merge these elements in an sorted or in ascending array. This concept is very simple. Concept is that first, before explaining the code or tracing the program, I will first explain you the concept here. Concept is, we try to take the first element here and the first element here. In both the arrays, we try to compare. The smallest element, we will put it into the resultant array, that is C. Among this one, which is smallest? Obviously 10 is smallest, so 10 will come here. Correct? Then this element is not yet placed. Okay, let me repeat once again, students, pay attention. Now, first element of both the arrays are compared. Now here, this is smallest, that is element in the A, that I will insert or I will put it in the array C. Now this 20 is not yet moved. Now what I need to do, this is done, I will move to the next one, 30. Now this 30 I will compare with this 20. The smallest one I will put in the C. Among these two, smallest is what? 20. So now 20 will come here. 20 will come here. right? Now, if you look into the comparison, this 30 is yet to be moved, right? Now what I will do, 30 and this 40 I will compare. The smallest element is 30 and this 30 I will put here. Then next, now in the previous comparison, 40 is left out. Then this 40 and this 50 I will compare. Smallest is 40, at 40 I will keep it here. Then 50 and 60 I will compare. Like this, elements in the first array and elements in the second array are compared successively, that is from the 0th index to the last element, right? And then we keep on inserting the smallest element in the resultant array. Now, if we continue here, we get 50, right? And after that, this element 60 from the second array will be inserted, and then 70 from the first array will be inserted, right? And then 80 from the second array now will be inserted. Now, if you look at here, the first array, all the elements have been inserted or added into the resultant array. But at the same time, the second array, only the first 4 numbers have been taken, right? The first 4 number of first array and the first 4 number of second array have been taken. Now what we need to do? There are 2 more numbers that are left. Definitely these numbers are what, ascending order only. So one by one after the other, directly place it in the resultant array, because there are no more elements to be compared in the first array. They all are exhausted. Now only we have left out with the 2 elements, and these 2 elements are already in ascending order. So first 90 we will keep it here, and then the next number, that is 100. So like this, we try to compare the first element of first array and first element of the second array. Whatever the smallest element, that element we will push into resultant or the array C. We keep on doing this one until either of the array elements are exhausted. That means we need to complete with either of the array elements. Whichever is left out means in whichever array, if there are more number of elements, all those numbers directly added into the resultant or the array. Okay. Now let us try to understand the same concept through this particular program. Okay. Now let me remove all these numbers here. Okay. So what I will do here is that I have taken 3 different variables. First one is I, which will point to the first, that is 0th index of A. J means it is the index for B, and one more K I will take, and this K will point for the indices values of C, right? And we know M and N. M is total number of elements in the first array, and N is total number of elements in the second array. Okay, now the while loop is pretty much simple. If you can look at the line number 25, it says I is equals to j is equals to k equal to 0, means I, j, k, all these 3 values are having 0 values. Means it is pointing to the first position, that is 0th index in their respective arrays. First is that check the while condition. This while condition simplifies that, or it tells that are there any elements left out that has to be compared between the elements, between those 2 arrays? Yes, definitely, because we are going to start with the comparison right away. So the first time, I less than m. I is what? Here, 0. Is this 0 less than m? M is what? 4. Yes, 0 less than 4 condition is true. Then second is j less than n. J is what? 0. Is this 0 less than 6? Yes, this is also true. Means both these conditions, both these operators, operands are true. So logical and will give us a true value. Means this while condition is now true. It will enter into the while. Now, what we are trying to do? We are trying to compare the element pointed by I and the element pointed by j. A of 0, that is 10, and B of 0, that is 20. Is this 10 less than 20? Yes, it is true. True means this if condition is true. Since it is true, what we need to do? This 10 is small. This 10 we will update in the array C. So now C of K is equals to A of I. So A of I is 10. This 10 will get updated where? C of K. K is actually 0. So C of 0 means 10. What we now did? We did the first comparison, that is 10 and 20. And we found that 10 is smaller. And this 10 we pushed or we added into the C array. After we add, now next time if I want to add another element in K, what I need to do? I need to increment K, right? At the same time, since 10 is been already added, next element that has to be compared is what? The next element. The next element means I has to be incremented. That's reason we have taken two increment operators here. First one is I plus plus. Now I from here, now it will move to I plus plus and K plus plus. Now this K will now move to this particular position, right? After that, again the while condition will be validated. In the while condition, I less than M, I is 1, 1 less than 4. So condition is true. J less than N, J is still at 0, so 0 less than 6, that is also true. So both the operands are true, logical AND will give a true value, while condition becomes true. Correct? Now understand here. A of I is 1, A of I is 30. Is this 30 less than B of J? B of J means B of 0, that is 20. Is this 30 less than 20? No, it is not. Means between these two, smallest number is what? 20. That 20 now has to be added into the C. That's why this condition turns to be false. So it moves to the else part. In the else part, what we have? C of K is equals to B of J. J is what? It is 0. B of J is 20. So this 20 will be updated where? C of K. K is what? 1. So here we get 20. Right? After we add 20, the next element is what? We need to increment J. So now J plus plus will happen. So from here, J will move to this position. At the same time, already at this particular position, K, the element is been added. Then K plus plus I need to do. So means K from here, it will move to the next value. Now K gets 2. Right? Now, first element from the first array, first element from the second array, both have been moved, and I, J, K are respectively pointing to the next index values, indices values. Okay, then next, again while loop condition is getting evaluated. Now what we have here, I less than M, I is 1, 1 less than 4, right? 1 less than 4, it is true. Then J less than N, J is also 1, 1 less than 6, that is also true. Both the conditions are true, means both these operands are true, while condition becomes true. Then again check this condition. A of I is now 30. Is this 30 less than 40? Right? This 30 is less than 40. Condition is true. Since this 30 is smaller value, this 30 now has to be moved here. So C of K is equal to A of I. So A of I means 30. This 30 will now move here. Now we are adding 30 here. After we added 30 from A, I has to be incremented. So I plus plus. Now I comes here. Then K plus plus. So K will move to the next positioned element. And J is still at its previous value itself. Because next time I'm again going to consider this particular element for the comparison, right? Then again, the while condition is getting evaluated. I less than M, that is 2 less than 4, it is true. J less than N, J is 1, 1 less than 6, that is also true. Both the conditions are true, so while loop becomes true. Then if condition we have A of I less than B of J. A of I is 50, B of J is 40. 50 less than 40, condition is false. It moves to the else part. So in the else part, C of K is B of J. So B of J is what? 40. Now this 40 will be added to C of K. So now we get B here. After I add 40 from B, now this J I have to increment. So J plus plus, J comes here. And K has to be incremented. Now K comes here. Then again, while condition. In the while condition, I is still at 2, right? 2 less than 4, condition is true. And 2 less than 6, that condition is also true. Then while condition becomes true. Then again, if condition, A of I here is 50. Is this 50 less than 60? Yes, it is true. So if condition is true here, since this if condition is true, C of K equal to A of I will take place. That means A of I is 50. This 50, add it into C array. So now this 50 is added here. After this 50 is added, increment I. So now I is moved to the next position and K is also moved to the next position. Correct? Then next again while condition. Now this time I value is what? 3. 3 less than 4. That is true. J less than n. J value is 2. 2 less than 6. That is also true. So both these conditions are true. Then this AND condition becomes true. While condition also becomes true. It enters into the while loop. Here A of I is 70. Is this 70 less than 60? No, it is not. Means it enters the false, that is else part. In the else part, this statement gets executed. That is B of J is 60. This 60 is inserted at C of K. So 60 comes here. Then after that, J plus plus, J is incremented now. K plus plus, K is also incremented now. Then again, the condition is validated. Next condition is what? I less than M. That is 3 less than 4. 3 less than 4 is true. Then J less than N. J is 3. 3 less than 6. That is also true. Both these conditions are true. So while condition becomes true, it enters into the while loop again. This time A of I is 70. A of I is 70. B of J is 80. 70 less than 80, it is true. Correct? Since it is true, it enters into this true block. First statement is C of K gets updated with A of I. A of I means what? It is 70. This 70 is updated where? C of K. So 70 comes here. Then I plus plus. Now I will move to the next value. That value is what? 4. I value is now 4. Correct? Then K is also getting updated or it is increased. Now K comes to this particular position, that is 7. Then the next again condition validation. I less than M. I is what here? I is 4. Is this 4 less than 4? No. Right? Pay attention. I value has now 4. Condition is 4 less than 4. Condition turns to be false. Now we know that the logical AND, it gives true whenever both its operands are true. But here first operand itself is a false. That means the logical AND will return a false value. Since it returns a false value, the while condition is false. Since the while condition is false, what happens? The while loop will get terminated. Once the while gets terminated, it comes out of the while. Now, by this time, if you look at the elements, all the elements of A have been added into C array. Right? At the same time, the same number of elements as of A have been also not the same amount. Only the first 3 elements have been added. The next job is to do what? The remaining elements of the array B have to be added. Right? If you look at here, all these are what? Ascending order. we need to do what? Just take all these numbers in a successive manner and place it in a C array. If you look into the remaining code here, we have two different code blocks. The first code block is for append the remaining elements of A. This gets executed when the number of elements in A are more than the number of elements in B. Okay, this particular code, these lines will take place executed when the number of elements in A are more than or greater than the number of elements in the B, right? And the other one, this particular code, wherein append the remaining elements of B. This particular lines, these lines will get executed only when the elements in the total number of elements in the B array are more than the total number of elements in the A. Now, let's see what happens in this case. The while condition I less than M. I value is what here? It is 4. M is what? 4. So 4 less than 4, condition is false, right? Condition false means these statements will never get executed. Correct? Now, the next one. The condition is J less than N. J is what? 3. 3 less than N, that is 6. That is true. 3 less than 6 is true. That means what? There are some elements in the second array that have to be added into the array C or the resultant array. Now we need to do that one. This while condition is true now. What we need to do? B of J, that is 80, this 80 has to be added here. Now we add 80. After that, increment J. So now from here, J will move here. Then K will also move to the next position, right? Then again, while condition, J less than N. J is 4, 4 less than 6. Condition is true. Again, add 90 here. So 90 comes here. Increment J. So now J is here. Increment K. K is pointing to 9. Then again, condition validation. J less than N. J is 5. 5 less than 6. It is true. Then add 100. So 100 will be added here. After adding 100, increment J. Now J will get incremented. So the new J value is going to be 6 here. New J value is going to be 6. And K is also getting incremented. The K value is going to be 10. The K is going to be 10 here. So let me write a 10 here, right? Now again the while condition is getting evaluated. J less than N. J is 6. 6 less than 6. This time the condition turns to false. Means this while loop will get terminated. So at this stage, if you notice, there were 3 additional numbers that were not added to the C array. Now we added all those 3 elements here. Correct? Then after that, we just print all the numbers. Now look at this line here. To print all the numbers, I equal to 0, I less than M plus N. Why M plus N basically? Once we add the numbers from 2 different arrays, the total numbers in the merged array is going to be sum of those 2 numbers. So that is M plus N, right? Then display all the elements here. Okay, now if we execute this program, let us see students. Now before execution, okay, let me display you the complete code here. Okay, look at here. The first, we declare all the 3 arrays. First one is a first array. A is for first array. B is for second array, and the C is for the resultant array. And then M, N, I, J, K. I, J, K are the variables for different arrays. M and N are the total number of arrays. We read those many elements and arrays here. Okay, and then this code gets executed, wherein we try to add all the numbers. Remaining numbers will be added, and then we print it. So if we execute this program, Let us say in the first array, I want to take 4 numbers, and the array elements are going to be in ascending order itself, 10, 30, 50, 70. And in B, 20, 40, sorry, total number of elements are 6 here. So those elements are going to be 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, and 100. And after that, we get the sorted array as follows here. Okay, this is simplest form, students. I will give you this code, and this is also a journal program. This you need to execute it in the next one. Okay, thank you, students.